Welcome to the podcast for G's only. For G's only. And it's for all women who's at the C-suite level. CEO. And we coming your way to share our stories in leadership. So we walking the walk, talking the talk, being the boss lady. Welcome to the C-suite, where we help build women leadership and how to be the boss lady. So welcome to the C-suite. So let's talk about being a CEO.
Hello, and welcome to the She Suites podcast with your host, Dr. Jodi Hood. This is a space where women's She Suites laugh, cry, thrive, and survive as we talk about unfiltered realities in the suite that our male counterparts will never face. Now, on today's episode, we're going to talk about something that's pretty interesting for women, and it is the 10-year sprint. That's it, the 10-year sprint. And I was reading an article quite recently, and the name of the article, you may want to look it up, is Why Women Have to Sprint into Leadership Positions. And it is by Katie Bishop. And in this article, she talks about a sprint or a race to get to the suite in the first 10 years of a woman's career, basically because she is trying to race against the clock that's called the motherhood penalty. That's right. Before she has children, she wants to climb to the top because actually, research shows that if it doesn't happen, if the woman doesn't reach that leadership role in the first 10 years, there's a great likelihood that it just won't happen. Let me tell you exactly some excerpts from the article. It says that it's well known women are much less likely to end up in leadership positions than their male peers. Unconscious bias, the tendency for women to take on greater childcare responsibilities, and outright discrimination mean women still hold just 23% of executive positions. That's right, 23%. And 29% of major manager positions globally. In spite of women making up 40% of the workforce. Those are some staggering statistics. But there are pressures that we as women face. And those pressures to have children, combined with the fact that once we become mothers, we have to shoulder the majority of childcare. It means that we feel compelled to sprint early in our careers. And just like I always say in the intro, our male counterparts, they have the luxury of time. They don't have to sprint to the top because they don't have the burden of motherhood. Now, in this phenomenon, women find their careers stalling in areas such as promotion and pay once children are born, while conversely, as I previously stated, men's careers accelerate after becoming fathers. This effect, as well as an enormous burden on caregiving responsibilities that we as women take on, is well documented and similarly affects other types of caregivers, like looking after aging parents. The transition into motherhood also affects how managers perceive caregiving female workers. That's one reason why women sprint to the top. They try in the first 10 years because women who are mothers receive competency ratings that are on average 10% lower than non-mothers. Did you know that? And 6 times they are less likely to be recommended for hire. While, get this, 26% of men are promoted or moved to a better job in the first 5 years of parenthood. Just 13% of women can say the same. So, yes. So there's a biased perception of pregnant women and mothers that they're less likely committed, less competent, less dependable, says Christine Spatterford. And structural issues such as no paid parent leave and no available or affordable childcare also prevent women from progressing after the first 10 years. Yes, the 10-year sprint. That is quite a burden for women to shoulder. But, ladies, let me tell you something. For now, the path to leadership remains a double edged sword for women. We face an uphill struggle and potentially a compromise to our physical and mental health to reach leadership in the first decade of our careers is daunting. Yet, if we fail to achieve our goals within this period, their chances of reaching the upper echelons of the companies become vanishingly small. That is a quote from the article. Well, I tell you what, ladies, we have a long way to go and a lot of burdens, again, that our male counterparts just don't face. But there are some women who are making it happen. And I would like to dedicate this podcast to my niece who is not yet 30. She has a husband and 3 beautiful children. She is the CEO of her own business and she's working on her doctorate. So while it is very difficult, it is not impossible. So shout out to this little young lady. Her name is Rolanda. I give her the Superwoman S on her chest and the cape. The 10-year sprints. Yes, there is a motherhood penalty, but women, we can if we think we can. So, ladies, until next time, we are going to keep walking the walk and talking the talk and making things happen. Have a good one.
Welcome to the podcast for G's only. For G's only. And it's for all women who's at the C-suite level. CEO. And we coming your way to share our stories in leadership. So we walking the walk, talking the talk, being the boss.